Alrighty, good afternoon everyone, and welcome to another day of Bitcraft. Let me mute my settings here. There we go, that should work. Alright, so off to another short-ish stream. Well, short compared to the first one, longer than the last one. I wasn't able to log in too early yesterday, so I only had a little bit of time before I had to call it quits, because I don't really like to bother my neighbors past midnight, and the walls are fairly thin. So let's see, what do we want to do today? Short summary of what I did in between the last stream and this one. I was doing a little bit of gem, I guess, gathering. I don't know that I like the RNG as the source of the gems. It's not the only source. To be fair, the main source should be... No, this one. It should be the main source, because these will guarantee you a gem drop. Now these are more rare, but I imagine if I was to really want to hunt for these things, I would probably be better off just going out and just smashing everything, every little rock in the way, and just collecting those. Like, just only these things go into my cart. That means leaving all the rock chunks on the ground, and maybe some people will take them, but I don't think that there's that many people that, you know, they would take all of it, and I could probably go back for a few more trips and just bring those in and use those. Because the lottery, the RNG way, it's basically 20 of these pebbles, which is roughly, let's see, so each rock is guaranteed to drop 4 of these things, and each one of these is guaranteed to drop 2 of these, so that's 8. So on a good day, you could think it's 2 rocks per gem fragment, and I say fragment because that's the more common result. I have gotten a few actual gems, but mostly it would be fragments. And like, just to give everyone an idea of what it is, I did 2 full trips of... oh, I took them away. I did 2 full trips of gems, and the result of that was the 2 red fragments that were there, one of the red gems, the other one I had from before from a geode, and that one red gem that I have is one that was built with fragments. And then I don't know where I put them. They're not here. Did I just get rid of them? I might have felt so cheated out of it that I got rid of them, or maybe they were back there and I just didn't see them. But like, it was probably a grand total of 20 something roulettes, so to speak. So that's about 20 something chances to get either fragments or gems out of 2 full trips in my cart, which is the improved cart, so that's about 21 big rocks. So yeah, I guess it sort of adds to 40 something rocks. I also had some of these things back here, so it might have been close to 50 chunks of rock. Gave me about 25 rolls of this. That should be about the average. But most of what it was dropped were these things. So like, if out of those 25 rolls, all of it is the lesser drop, that's 25 crystals. If you're lucky enough that they all equal gems, then yeah, you have 5 gems. I'm not sure that's actually something that I would say I would get very excited for. I mean, it's okay, but like, I feel that's a waste of resources. Like, that's a sink that feels unnecessary. Most of the pebbles that I have been gathering have been used to make bricks, to get hex coin, because, you know, I've been doing a lot of hex coin grinding. I wanted to get the goat early on, as I have mentioned in stream before, but I also had wanted to just get, you know, the improved cart, the improved storage, the improved market stall. All of that takes hex coins. I just got my craftsman's mallet, which is 2 steps up. I want to get even better mallets, because ultimately what I want to do is to build roads, and that involves a lot of digging. So I want to get my hands on as good a hammer as I can before I go into areas that are a bit more, I guess, more difficult to navigate. So yeah, basically that's kind of the reason why I've been doing a lot of masonry. There's other ways to get hex coin. I think I probably wasted a lot of bricks, because I used a lot of the regular bricks to trade for the coins, not so many of the refined. And the refined is really just basic fire sand, which is gypsite, which I get a lot when dig for mod anyway. And then shells, which are not that hard to get from fishing. So I should have been doing a lot more of these ones, because 10 of the normal ones go for 250, but that's the same as just 2 that have been improved, and the improvement does not really take me too long. It might be the easiest refined resource to grind or to farm, because I think all the other ones are related to either farming and or scholar. And then I think the RNG for those is a little bit worse than the RNG from fishing and gathering, like foraging for mod. You need the, well, some of the, actually the smithing might not be too bad, because the smithing, I probably should have just looked here. For the refined ingot, you need, oh yeah, it needs to be processed by a scholar, but you could probably be a scholar and do it. Oh, okay, so it takes the gathering of berries. Yeah, I guess it depends on what your focus is, or what your group's focus is. If you have people that are actively farming and doing scholar things, which are things that you really need to progress a claim, then there might be more options. If you are like me and you want to try to see just how far you can go, or just how much you can do being a solo type player, or just like a more nomadic type player, probably the bricks are an easier thing. Right now, like as I said before, my goal in a lot of the tests has been to build roads. The devs mentioned that they were going to be, like, there was gonna be a buff related to roads now. I think a lot of us have been expecting a speed boost. tested for it and it's not there. But I had sent Jordan a message for some stuff, so I also asked him about that, and it turns out that the buff that is intended for the road is just like reduced stamina consumption, which is not bad, but I still think that roads should allow you to move faster. At least like, and I even mentioned it to him, even just something like a marginal, hey Kaling, how's it going? Even just a marginal increase of speed on the carts would definitely make roads so much better. So I'm hoping that they implement some of the improvements on roads later on or at some point. So my focus is gonna basically stay the same. I will do foraging, forestry, mining to clear out the path to build a road, and then masonry to make the pebbles and pave it. So for my kind of approach, this is probably the best way to grind for hex coin. How are you doing, Kaling? How's the foot kills coming up? Are you completely safe and protected from monsters? Are you starting the expansion? Almost every station except Scholar and Oven. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'll definitely try to hang out over there at some point. I, as I mentioned, want to live the nomadic life. So definitely that will bring me over there at some point. For now, I think my focus today is likely gonna be turn all of these things into bricks and try to grind hex coin to improve my hammer. I already got the second step up. We're now working on a road to the tundra and the codexes for the claim that goes there. Oh, okay, so you're already thinking even more claims. That's interesting. I mean, how has the securing of the claim felt for you guys? I'm assuming you have to carry tier 1 trunks from, you know, another area to the all the way over there. Has that felt like a difficult task, or is it just something that if you have the numbers it becomes trivial? Just curious. Okay, I did exactly what I didn't want to do. Having the crafting linked to storage is so convenient, except when you actively grab 10 of the things so that you don't do all of it, and then you just go and drag the whole thing. Ah, that's alright, I'll be here for a bit. Kellen says, it was a bit rough. We're only 2 people working on the claim yet. The others are still leveling skills, especially storage was difficult. Yeah, storage also was a big issue. Over in the Spartan dog pound, or I can't remember what they named it. Let me see if I can read it here. Did they? Yeah, the dog compound, not the dog pound. The dog compound. Storage was a bit of an issue. Hey, thank you for the follow. One of the bigger problems was just because you could not build the tier 1 stations, you would not be able to build the timber to build the tier 2 station. So they've done away with that. So now I think it's just a lot easier to start setting up the carpenter station basically, and like I guess those probably use nails, so the smithy, the smelter, like pretty much just like all the infrastructure that you need to start making storage. Like on previous tests, it was one thing that I remember was almost like the most important thing to do when you were setting up a new claim was have all the components for making like 5 boxes for storage once you got there, so that you would be able to get the ball rolling. I think this time everyone was probably a little bit eager to set up a new claim out there and see what's what, and probably skipped that step. We also of course did not know that we would not be able to place tier 1 buildings, so like if that had been possible, then that would have probably been a lot easier to do and to manage. But yeah, how's the what's it called? How's the adversity tweaking that they have been doing? They mentioned on the patch notes that they made the monsters a little bit less strong and that kind of thing. I haven't actually been out there. We were very motivated and organized. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I mean, you guys have experience. You have set up probably more bases than most people. You have no experience with the adversity yet. You know, and I think it should be viable way to play. If you don't want to have anything to do with the adversity, there should be avenues to allow that. I'm hoping that they work a little bit more towards it. Right now, I guess the biggest issue is traveling and gathering in areas that are populated by monsters. I just don't want to see all the non-combatants being forced, or all the people that are not interested in in fighting monsters become sort of pushed or forced into stay at the base and craft kind of roles. I think that would kill a lot of the fun. I mean, I know people that's what they want to do and that's what they enjoy, and that's also cool, but for people that might want to just, you know, be a miner, they might not it shouldn't be a necessity for them to also be experts in combat. Or maybe that's just something that if you're want to be at the top of your craft, then you do need to deal with adversity. I don't know, but I guess it should be done in a different way. Like for crafters or gatherers, there should be a crafting tool or way to deal with the adversity. The campfire, I hear, has a very small radius. So well, it is a step in the right direction to give us more tools to deal with adversity, but it feels like maybe there could be a few more tools. And then instead of kind of forcing players to deal with the adversity because, well, that's just the world and that's the way things are, it feels like it should be better, at least from my opinion. It doesn't necessarily have to be their opinion, and they could be envisioning something completely different, and that's fine, but in my opinion, it should play in a way where going out and killing monsters is not something that people do because they are forced to do it, but it's something that people do because there's an inherent reward or motivation towards it. Like, just as a broad concept, I have some ideas and I've made a suggestion or like a feedback post on it, but there's just so many things that can be. But I think, yeah, right now, of course, we're just dealing with the most adverse world that we'll probably ever see. Voxel was hanging out with us in the voice chat last night, or was it this morning? Can't tell anymore. And yeah, he confirmed that this is basically the most adversity that we will ever see, and it makes sense that they started high and dial it down instead of starting low and then making people suffer more. It definitely feels like a more enjoyable approach to suffer and then to start to see things get better. But yeah, it kind of feels like some of the team are pushing the combat a lot, and I don't know that. I feel like that should still be an opt-in part of Bitcraft. I don't know if it should be a core mechanic, because that to me is just okay. Then this is just another survival game like all the other ones, but it looks nicer, or like it looks more cozy aesthetically. But if basically you're still fighting for your life all the time, then it's just the same. Oh, this is gonna be such a long craft. At least I finally got my Firelight tools. I have been wanting to approach this test in a way that I don't depend on any group. Like, I know I could probably just go around and ask for tools, and you know, I would, one way or another, I would get tools. But I've wanted to just use the implemented systems to get them, so I've set up a listing on my trading stall, just requesting a tool, Firelight tool, and it sat there for like a full day without anybody selling me a tool. It's probably also because this thing is not quite working yet. I think. I mean, let me hide the traveler's offers. Yeah, see, it only shows like 4 player stalls. Yeah, I don't know. They need to fix that, because if I was able to search here like Firelights, whatever it is that I need, like pickaxe, okay, I can see now that if I go to the Eastern Ruin Town, apparently someone was posting it, but then of course it's no longer there. Probably because it is, or right now on the searched thing, and someone found them. But I think also people are not really posting that many weapons for trade, which is fine. It should be more dependent on people posting listings to buy them, so the blacksmith, you know, says, oh, this guy wants one, I will make it so that I can sell it. Kellen says, I wanted to do trade this test too, but then some people were really insisting to make footpills again. That's fair. Yeah, I guess that's fair. I mean, it's still, there's still a long time left on the test, so it's only day, oh, that's why I'm not eating, I don't have food on me. It's only what day, I don't know what day it is, but maybe 4? Let's say it started, yeah, it's day 4. It's only day 4. And honestly, right now trading is still not quite working. So you're not really missing out on trying to do the trade path. Gail says, yeah, tomorrow I'm taking some time off of responsibility and just doing my own thing. Yeah, I think that's important. I think that's really important. Owning a claim and developing a claim, it's important that it feels separate from the player experience in 2 ways. Like right now, they are sort of starting to take steps to separating them, and that's really good. Like giving access to all players to all the claims, so that the players are not dependent on being part of a claim to progress. But I guess another element that's necessary in that separation is either making claim ownership and management more what's the word that I'm looking for, more granular, like more being able to assign explicit responsibilities among a group, which should put emphasis in that it is a group effort. Hey Malik, how's it going? And not just emphasis that it's a group effort, but emphasis that if you are playing the claim layer, like the settlement layer of gameplay, that comes with the responsibilities that you have to balance with your own player development. And if you can't do those, then you should not be like, it sounds rough, but yes, if you're not ready to commit, then you should not do it. But it doesn't mean that all the load should be fall onto one person's shoulders. That one person should be able to spread the load on other people that will also have that responsibility, and not be something like, well, yeah, I'm around here today, let's see what I can do, I'll do this, I'll do that, and then I'll keep doing my thing. And then the responsibility is still sort of like centered in the one individual. There needs to be a way to change that, because then the one player that's got the claim just gets shoved with all the responsibility, and that leads to bad things, as we have seen. Good to see that you're doing good, Malik. I'm doing very good myself. I was trying to set up a 10 bricks crafting job and mistakenly dragged the full bar, so I'm just sitting here hammering away. But it's all good. I'm grinding hex coin to try to improve my hammer further, so that I can try to make some roads in more uneven terrain. How about you? Have you been are you in game right now, Malik? I think I have seen you around the same settlement. I don't see right now, but it could be that you're just out there doing your thing. You're sailing. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, I definitely have seen you, that you're also a western town dweller. Kelling asking, how many hex coins do you need? That's easy to find out, because the one thing that the trade finder is good for is finding the prices for the travelers. So if I search mallet, there we go. See, nice and easy. So I've spent 750, 250 here, 500 here. Then the next one's 1000, 120, 1250, 2500. So it's not really all that much. Does that add up to 5000? Oh, there's also another step that's 750. I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's too bad. And then you end up with 40 power, which is good. The first settler mallet is 30 this time. It's kind of sad that it's not the last step. So like, you would do the... Right now I'm on this one, so I would trade the craftsman for the expert, then I would trade the expert for the first settler's mallet, and then the first settler's mallet goes for the professional, and then the professional for the brico. I kind of feel like the first settler's mallet should be a little bit higher on the ladder, but that's just personal bias. And yeah, it's definitely very doable. Like, I don't know that I'm going to turn all of this into refined rough bricks. I might just over obsess and actually do that, because it should not be that difficult. I just need to make 97 fire sand, which, I mean, I did a lot more in a couple of days at the end of the last test, and that would be I don't know. Let me get a calculator for this, because that's about 97 times 125 that each one of those would give. That would be 12,000 coins. So I would be set to buy my way through a lot of things, which as a nomad kind of player is kind of what I want to see how viable it is. Kelling saying, going to get those mallets tomorrow and then some pavements. Yes, you can join the Pave the World team. I know there's a lot of us out there. I know many people will be wanting to make roads, so the mallets will definitely be useful. Then we can just, you know, use the hex coin to buy the best armor possible and be able to deal with adversity. Have a bunch of campfires too. I don't know. I feel it should be a fun operation. Terraforming and roads were the sell point of this game for me. It feels like it was for many people. It's funny that you say that you feel like you want to take a break from the claim responsibility and do your own thing, and that you want to make roads, because Ardelease has basically been on that boat every single test. Like he also, one of his ideal ways to spend time is making roads and terraforming and digging and doing the thing, but always ends up sort of like setting up the whole shovel claim and managing it and organizing it. And because he does a lot of AFK gameplay like alongside his work, he's usually in town, like in the claim, and because he's been in the previous tests, he tends to be like the guy they all ask questions to. Yeah, so he's sort of been tied down in there, but then that's another, like, that's even supporting more what we were talking about before. There need to be a bigger separation between claim and individual gameplay, in a way that the claim owner can assign responsibilities in a real way. Kelly saying the point of Foothills is to make Pine Forest accessible by road. Yeah, no, exactly. And it looks so good on the last test. I really loved it. It's so sad that all the trees died around it, because then it was kind of a more grim place than it could have been. I hope already the way that the resources are regenerating feels like it'll look prettier than it did last time. Last time, so much of the world was just a big wasteland. Kelly saying, yeah, some people settle there and just chop them all. Yeah. And not just that, like, I know, like, there were some of the bigger groups that were building a lot of vehicles for everyone, like Ludens. They just had parties going out there and just destroying everything just to get that resin. I like the fact that they've eased the load on it, and the load on carpentry, or actually I would say the monopoly for carpentry on deployables, by making this thing a masonry craft now, and also linking it to masonry related thing. So it's definitely, oh, that's actually not that expensive to make. I should make me one soon. There's definitely less of a load on amber, and you can really tell. Right now, I heard, I mean, basically just from Ardelease's experience, I haven't been hanging out in so many voice chats so far, but another bottleneck that people were finding was the crop oil. Yeah, exactly. I also have tons of T1 amber. The problem with the crop oil, I think, is very simple. It comes down to they still haven't figured out the balance for farming, it's still kind of crappy, and there was just very limited farming space, and the crop oil was very slow to come by. Like in the time it would take a forager, like, no, let's do it the other way. In the time it would take a farmer to get 10 crop oils, forester would probably get 20 or more amber. So that seems like the balance is skewed. If the farmer had more plots available, then that fixes it very easily. I feel like starting towns should just have more farms than just that one single slot, or it could be just that one farm, but just like be a special one for the ruin town that has more slots. Kaling saying, yeah, Malik saying, I am right next to Ardalisa's claim right now. Ah, cool. Say hi. Well, they're good people. I think they're setting... No, they've set up all tier 2 stations. They have a big farm. Ardalis has taken the job of the farmer yet again. Although I think there's a couple more than that are also doing it. But yeah, they have a lot of farms, and they always like to have like multiple stations for the passive crafting. So if you ever want to, you know, craft and do things, that's probably going to be a good place to do it. It's close to the autumn forest, so that might actually be one of the better claims for nomadic like players to work with tier 3 stuff, I think. I'll definitely hang out there at some point as well. My goal this test is to spend at least one day experiencing each town. So as soon as I'm done with the hex coin grinding, that's likely what I'm gonna be doing. And I'm gonna probably need to spend a lot of time digging for mod to deal with all of this bricks that I'll be making. Thank you, Kaling. I think it's a fun goal as well. I really hope that the trade improves, because honestly, I'm probably able to just craft tier 1 and tier 2 stuff and just still be able to run around and hang out and do things. But I want to be able to get better tools via the trade functionality of the game, like without needing to talk to anyone, because it should be that way. You should be able to trade for whatever it is you need without having to talk to anyone. We'll see if it can be done, and if it really can't, then I will say that trade failed again this test. But I cannot make that claim without actually making the effort to do it that way. I just really want them to pay more focus to trading. You guys know if Bradley is Clockwork Labs? I think he is. I think I remember seeing him early on with the Clockwork Labs tag, but then he switched to Apprentice Fisher. I wonder if he's just like hanging around this town, seeing what people are doing. Let me see in their Discord if there's a Bradley in the dev team. Yeah, there is. There is a Bradley in Clockwork Labs. Oh, somebody responded my initial thoughts on adversity. I posted a bit of a text wall on my thoughts on adversity so far. Fabler got a pretty big response on that one. I'll probably read it later off stream, just because I'm likely to get into nerd mode. Not that I'm usually out of nerd mode, but I'll probably get deeper into nerd mode, and I don't want to just turn the stream into more of a rant that than it already is. I also want to focus on doing the task, because that's another thing with Bitcraft and me. Hey, level 42. I get sidetracked very easily. I really get sidetracked too easily. It's funny that it feels like it should be done soon, but it takes so long. Oh, actually, I remember... No. I wish they... Because if you walk away from the project, at some point you get a timer. Yeah, this active project, and you get a timer. I wish you had some sort of similar timer here that tells you how long that crafting task will take. Let me actually write it down on my notepad where I'm making notes for feedback. Crafting job timer, because then, I mean, it would be updated. Oh, am I wearing the... No, I'm wearing the right ring, because I'm wearing this thing. I'm wearing the rough... Well, I was wearing the rough sapphire ring. I grabbed the other one. But this is the masonry speed, the one that I had on. So, like, just seeing how it would change between one ring and the other would give us... I am making bricks to sell for hex coins, probably to Rumble. My intention is making them into the refined ones that give me 125 hex coins each. I might post a couple of them on my trading stall and see if I can sell them for more, in case people need them. Like, I don't think there's gonna be a lot of people selling refined anything. So I'll try that as well. That feels like something that would be interesting to put up on the market stall and see if it does go anywhere. And I'll probably post them there for 150 instead of 125. Because otherwise, why would I bother? I can just get 125 from Rumba. Alright, let's save that here. People need them to make... Yeah, exactly. Just like what... Oh, I don't have it here? This is the... Did I deploy the normal one? I deployed the normal one. See, this is another thing that I've also mentioned to Voxel. The fact that you cannot place more than one makes it really difficult to deploy the second one. Screw it. If I lose whatever's in there, then that's my own fault. I'm going to just collect it and hope that nobody is sniping. Because it makes it dangerous to do what I'm doing right now. I go with the more important things first, and then I just try to get the rest in. But the thing is, as you can see, I have tons of mud in there. Let's just put everything in there. Claim all. Like right now, this is gonna take me maybe a minute. It might not sound like much, but it's enough that if someone was to see me do this and knew what was going on and was intended to grab things, then that would be easy. That would be very easy. Alright. Good to see that it has more slots. Okay. What else was I going to do? Does this stack? Oh, this does stack. That's good to know. I accidentally made 2 diamond rings. If anybody wants one, if you want one, Malik, just let me know and I'll give it to you. Since I know you're also this town's dweller. I'll keep this on me. What was the... Forestry, carpentry? I don't need that right now. I mean, I don't need either of them right now. Did I place... Yes, I did place this ones here. Alright, let's grab some gypsite. Malik saying I have the ruby for cooking and fishing speed. I still don't have that one. I wanted to get that one, but haven't been lucky enough yet. I have the other three. I also kind of wish that there was a way that you could have them all here, or even just like the armor, like the vault can sort of serve as armor storage, because I can just convert that to a deed and switch equipment based on what I'm doing. It would be nice if this was able to go on the vault as well, you know, same as with weapons, or if they just had their own slot like all the tools do, so that you would have like a jewelry slot and then you could just swap the active one. And I don't know, like there's a lot of quality of life things in terms of storage management that I still feel would be cool. Voxel did say in the VC earlier that these extra slots are basically future proofing, so it's possible that maybe eventually it won't be like this, that you would have the one emerald ring with 3 boosts on it, but maybe just have a single jewelry type for each kind of profession. Or I mean, you could have them like this and then just have like the 4 jewelry slots, and you could just have them all in there. Like, I don't really, I mean, yeah, you could say it's worth having one active so that players are having to manage something somehow, but the fact that for like me as a gatherer, when I go out to mine and get mod to build road, I fill up my inventory with mod, and then I go over to the rock and I fill my cart with rock chunks, and then I go back to town. So that's 2 different skills. That's foraging and mining. And foraging is in the green ring, which actually I should have right now because I'm getting mod, and mining is on the blue ring. Well, yeah, I was gonna ask Kelly there with a half idea, but that's fine. Yeah, I mean, maybe it would make sense to just have the one ring be foraging, mining, forestry. Another ring be like the fishing and cooking and scholar. Like fishing and cooking sort of makes sense, but hunting going with leatherworking also makes sense. But I don't know, like on one hand, the devs are constantly talking about how they want players to trade resources, and on the other hand, they're also giving players items that are basically telling them, you alone are going to do the mining, the breaking of the rocks, and the smithing of the metals. And that's decentivizing trade completely. Oh, I did not bring food. I did not bring food. Okay, I'm close by. I'll just go back and grab food right now. So yeah, I think there's actually, let me write that, type that down, because I always forget to bring it up to them. Making items that give a buff within the same item to the, how do I, now I'm just gonna make a small note for myself, like ring decentivizes trade and promotes I do everything. I'll go back to that note and expand on it later. But yeah, I mean, it feels like there's some things that there's probably people pulling in different directions within the team. Like, that's the only way that I could think that's happening. and the people pulling in different directions might not be able to really express to the other person with the other direction why one direction works over the other. The only other explanation is they're trying both directions and trying to see which types of feedback people give. Oh, do I have inventory space? Yes, I do. Claim that. Pop another batch in. Now I don't have inventory space here. I'm gonna bring this thing some other place. It's like with the adversity, like you have the two sides of it. You have part of the team like Voxel, who I feel just wants everyone to go and do combat and, you know, make the world rough and gritty. And then you have, you know, other parts of the dev team that from the beginning it feels like they were doing a more let's have a cozy approach to things. And that seems to be a bit of a clash in there. Malik saying, I was thinking about that earlier. I think once the game is persistent, people will want the higher level items, which could greatly incentivize those items. I'm not sure if you mean the rings incentivizing people. I can understand making a couple low level items easier to get. Well, I don't think anything is very difficult to get right now. Like, as I was saying earlier on the stream that I wanted to get my tools via crafting. I mean via trading, but it's become ridiculously impossible. So I just actually went on my own and, you know, did the hunting, did the smithing, got my tools. I did not want to resort to that, but I had been on flint tools because I wasn't able to get firelight tools through trading. Right now, everyone else has advanced enough so that people are working even on tier 3, I guess, by now. So I will try to get the Oromide tools via trading. But the items themselves don't really feel hard to get or to make. I don't know if your experience has been different. In what way would you say they should be easier to make to get, or what specific items do you think should be easier to get? And I'm not putting you on the spot, I'm just curious. That's just you'll see me ask questions a lot. Right, I think the low-level stuff should be easier to craft, but the higher items should be more exclusive to higher trade skills. I'm still not entirely sure I understand what you mean there. I'm sorry. If you could... That will help promote trade. Oh, like making some of the things more difficult to get or to produce, so that incentivizes trade. I think, like, eventually, I think it does happen. Like, at higher tiers, that's where it really is impossible for one person to do everything, and people are forced to trade in between jobs. Like in the last test, I did definitely see a lot of that happen more at the high tier end of gameplay. But I don't know, like there should be ways to incentivize that from the first levels. If that's what you're going at, I agree with you completely. Like, there should be reasons at low level for people to trade and not have that be something that it should be at high levels only. Or maybe I'm just saying the complete opposite that to what you were saying. Yeah, so people can't do all the higher stuff by themselves. That is the way things work right now. That is definitely the way things work right now. People are not... It's impossible. Well, I guess it's eventually possible, but it takes a really, really long time, or someone just sinking a lot of hours in the game to be able to do everything at the highest tier. Like even at the end of the test, of the last test, I don't think there was anyone that could do tier 6 everything. I think people want to learn the basics, that's what they are more independent at low tiers. And that's fair. That definitely is true. It does make sense when you go into the game to try everything. And actually one of the pieces of advice that I would usually give new players that were asking about what to do early on was bring all of your skills to level 10 and then figure out which ones you have the most fun with and pursue those. And in that regard, you can actually do that fairly easily with flint tools. Like I got past level 30 with flint tools in masonry, and like I only just recently updated my tools, and I'm like level 27 carpentry, 31 foraging, 31 forestry. All of this leveling was done with flint tools. The difference between the flint tool and the pyrite, the biggest and most important difference to me, is being able to gather the tier 2 materials. At tier 1, you can easily do everything with just basic tools. Yeah, exactly. You're 31 fishing and still using pyrite, and yeah. The only reason you would move to Ormite is if it's easy to get, or if you're really in a position where you need to get the tier 3 fish. And usually when you're just around that threshold of the, like at 30, you probably don't really need to focus a lot on tier 3 stuff unless you're on a group that is pushing the boundaries. There's actually a lot of like once you reach that level, it probably means that you have to start taking steps to get ready for the next bit. And I don't know, I do think that it's there in terms of trade, the visibility has been a problem, and also sometimes it takes longer for an economy, a trade economy to be established. That's another thing that's also true. Malik saying, right, I would like to be able to trade for an R-Light rod. Yeah, exactly. And honestly, if this worked as it's intended, it should be trivial. It should be absolutely trivial for either you to post your listing and somebody that's a blacksmith to say, oh, okay, this guy wants that thing. I will make the thing and I will go to the guy and I will sell the thing. If somebody else got there first, then, you know, you just put it on your own style and you sell it. Hey Zozo, good morning. It's afternoon here. And yes, this is the Mattism crew for sure. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. We're just talking about stuff, as usual. Malik saying, I think trading stalls are quaint, but honestly, I would rather have an auction house. I don't. I really don't want an auction house. I do think... I think... For me... There are certain, like, I guess, trademark elements from other games that are convenient, but kill, and they're killing an opportunity to do something different and do something better. A better way to search the trading stalls, it's just this working. Because if I was to search, like if I was looking for Armite something, I would show a list here and it will show where I can find it. Like for example, right now that's not the case because it's not working. But let's say I have I killed an alpha jackal and I have this, and I want to find out where's the closest place where I can sell it. This tells me that 450 distance away, there's I think it's Brico that buys it. There's a Brico, and if I don't know where he is, I can just click here, and it'll center the map where that one is. So imagine that in a smaller scale. Like if I was to look for something, like let's see what's in here. Look, he's selling a rough parchment. If I was standing here and I was to search here for rough parchment because that's something that I need. Okay, look, somebody's trade is showing nearby, 23 away. It would be nice to be able to mark a tracker here to show you where it is. Let me just add that to the comments. Add tracking function to trade finder. They already have a tracking function because you can click on your stall, for example, and track it, and your minimap will show you where it is. So if you could do that from the search stalls, and you could search, it's this guy. No, that's a different one. Well, if you could find that rough parchment that you were looking for. Here, this guy's selling cloth, but let's imagine this is Rumba. It's not a player. Let's imagine this was a player and it has the thing that I need. I'd be able to see the trade, mark it on the map, and go there. I think that's basically what you are referring to when you're saying we need a better way for the to search the trading stalls. That's just it. The mechanisms are there, but they're not working. The team knows about the trade finder not working, and they are working on fixing it because it's one of the center points of this test, besides the adversity. So don't worry, it is something that they know, and they are taking steps into making it work. Overall, I'm really enjoying the south other than the over-aggressive jackals. Agree there, but do keep this other thing in mind. This has been confirmed to me by Voxel. They have started with a very high adversity bar and working it, like tuning it down instead of starting low and tuning it high. There's also elements or functions of the game that were not working as intended, like the walls and the gates not working early on, or glitchy jackals. Like all those things are things that it's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be better. So like once the gates started working, the whole experience of having a claim outside became a lot easier. Yeah, jackal spawning in from any light source. I mean, that's clearly not that they have set the adversity so that they do that. It's clearly a bug. So we can also not really say this is really this is a Jackie apocalypse, but it's an unintended one. Those things are just, things that need to be ironed out. I do think we need more tools to deal with adversity beyond just going out there and whacking them. The campfire that they made is a useful one. Vox was also mentioning that on previous tests we had braziers that we could place on alongside roads that were just cosmetic back then, but would be light sources now. So you could have a road that is protected by those things, and then that would definitely that would help trade, because right now it's impossible to carry your cart from A to B without a heavily armed escort, and that definitely is not or should not be the way that it's intended to play out. Like, that's too much effort invested into, like, I don't know, you need what, either 5 people organizing a 5 people party to go from A to B, like having traders or gatherers or crafters have to become high level slayers as well just in order to do their craft. It feels like it shouldn't have to be that way. I've mentioned some ideas in that regard on the post that I made over on the feedback in the main Discord, but there's a lot of room in that conversation for different approaches and different ideas. I'm not sure what their concept of how they want to do things is, mostly because right now they're dealing with bugs. Zozo saying Slayer level should give us damage buffs. That's one approach, but that's an approach that's it's not it's definitely a good idea. The distinction I was making on that suggestion that I posted is, do you want to punish people for not taking part into combat, or do you want to reward people that take part into combat? Giving people that have a low Slayer level a damage buff is a way for people to be motivated to go into combat. But I think there should also be room for an approach to gameplay that involves no combat at all, or just absolute minimal, without dumping the responsibility of getting an armed escort on that player. Zozo saying, but the other skills give us more crit. I mean, the combat, it's probably still, there's definitely gonna be a lot of changes in the way that combat works. Like, at some point I would imagine they will have a goal as to how they want to have the balance between the monster strength and the player strength. Yeah, roads are getting made. I started making this one to connect to Lanny's town up here, and to connect to the river here, which connects to the dog compound that way. I basically did a line that does, I think it does this, and then one goes this way and up, and the one that way is not finished yet. And Lanny, of course, with the Legion, came and expanded that. I just made a single line, they added the rest. Zozo saying, I say that because I'm 20 boss layer. You know what's funny, Zozo? I have not been actively interested in Slayer. I'm 7 because I was setting up the dog compound earlier on, and I was just basically hanging around and doing other things. I had my wooden sword with me, and War Dogs is absolutely not interested in doing the combat thing, and he's, I think, level 30 or something, because he's basically been having to fend animals off to do anything. Malik saying more damage is always good, especially with berry pie for movement speed buffs. Yeah, the food buffs are definitely something that it's important that they play. Let me split stack. It's important that they play a big role. People will get more used to them and use them more, but already I think they're making a difference, and I think it's a good step in that direction. Zozo saying it's fun to run around them and smack them and helping people. Funny you say that, because one of the things that I suggested, and going also along the lines of what you were saying, of having a player's Slayer level influence something. my idea was a little bit different. It was increase, like, I don't know if it's possible for the game to track all of this, but it might. If the game is able to track how many players are around a monster when the monster is killed, and what the Slayer levels of those players were, then maybe when a monster is killed in proximity to a player that has a low Slayer level, it might have a higher rate to drop rare things. Let me explain. This means that if you set up a road and people are traversing it, and the road is somewhat safe but maybe not super safe, if you want to go out and play around with the fluff pups, you're encouraged to do so near that road, because if there was a trader going around there getting attacked and you kill the thing, yeah, well, make them more valuable, or making them more rare if there's not a low Slayer level player around them. I don't know, like, there's a lot of room to play with that, or make a different type of rare drop. There's the bones. The bones are supposed to be the rare drop. Just make the drop rate a lot lower and make it better, like it is right now, if the monster is killed in proximity of somebody with a low Slayer level. I don't know, like, I think there's many ways to play around with things to try to motivate or encourage certain types of actions or behaviors by rewarding, not by punishing. And it feels, at least, I mean, it could be just that the systems that they are implementing are just not fully functional right now, but it feels like the approach to adversity is more forcing players into it by punishing them if they don't participate, rather than motivate them into pursuing it and not really being detrimental if you don't really want to take part in it. I don't know, that's just my perspective. I should probably go and cycle those bricks. Wait, because I didn't get enough gypsite. I'm gonna grab a bit more mud. Zozo, yeah, it's defo. Yeah, it's punishing at the moment. I wouldn't have gone with the group last night otherwise. Yeah, exactly. And it's cool that in a way, grouping up is being, like, it's happening, but it should be, again, because there's a reward to grouping up, not because you're punished if you don't. That's still a very, very, very important key point for me. Because otherwise, it's just another survival game. And it's not the cozy, like, nice looking survival game where you can go and kill monsters or you can have a peaceful life. We need to be able to have the peaceful life if we so decide. Zozo, I'm probably the only person in that group that could withstand a single jackal attack with cargo. Yeah. And that will, of course, like, change once Oromite armor becomes more accessible, and then the next step. And, like, it's certainly gonna be different in a world that is more lived in. And there's also that to be taken into consideration. But yeah, I mean, honestly, if you're just around your starting area, you probably wouldn't need anything else than your Oromite armor, I mean your Pyrelite armor. But if you're going into tier 2 area, it makes sense that you would need to get Oromite armor. Because you're getting tier 2 stuff. You could buy, if it's easy to buy tier 2 armor, you could just buy it. I just ignored it, just kept walking. Oh, and the pine and the tundra. Is that where the Umboras are? I haven't actually looked for screenshots of the Umboras, but have you seen the Umboras? What are the Umboras? I just know that someone buys their hair. It's Umbura fur, not Umbra. I know I'll probably call them Umbras too, but I want to say Umbura because it's different. You haven't seen them? Oh, it's the bears? Ah, okay, it's the one that they said that you should probably approach them in a group. And I mean, even like for something that you're supposed to approach in a group, it doesn't really feel like this is too rewarding. I imagine the rings that you would make with those are more worth it than this. So I have a jackal ring, it's okay. Have you done experiments equipping it and unequipping it and comparing damage that you deal and that they deal to you? Because I've heard that the tooltip information that we get from them is not accurate, so I'm curious as to what actual effects they have. I have my mining ring on for the trek. Malik saying, what stats are on the jackal ring? I can show you. Well, Zozo finishes the story. So this is the tier 1, there's tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, tier 6. These ones are just basically the same ingredients always. But like I think at certain point you use the Jackal Alpha fur instead of the normal one. And this one, it says combat bonus damage 0 and armor 3. But I hear that the damage is not representative of the truth, because like if you go to like the higher tier ones, it still says combat bonus damage 0, and they're clearly intended to have one. So let's read Zozo. I had my mining ring on for the trek. It was fine, but I do have Oromite armor. To get accurate, you should check your detailed stats. That's the thing. I don't think it's showing, is it? Oh, okay. So it would show here. Are you saying if I equip a jackal ring, it'll change what I see here? I mean, these are both weapons of the same tier, so maybe they're the same. Because it doesn't really change. And these are both, no, they're marked as different. Claymore damage versus sword shirt damage, which might just be a placeholder for future proofing. Maybe eventually the damage will differ, but right now it's different name, but they all do the same thing. But yeah, I actually got rid of hair and bones that I had and didn't make myself a jackal ring. I'm not really that thinking to get too much into combat. But I'll have a look. I'll definitely make myself one and have a look and see if the detail stats change based on equipping the ring or not equipping the ring. No, I always look at that. I've also noticed that It does say so in the food item, because it's... no, not on the food item. The region apparently, the stamina is marked as active region and the health is marked as passive region. I sent the devs a question about this because I don't understand why the health region from food is not active, or if that's just a bug and it's supposed to be active but they marked it as passive. I don't know. Just since I was in the detailed stats and I saw that there, I remembered. Nothing really important. How's my inventory looking? I need to split the stack. But yeah, I definitely will try to have a closer look at the jackal ring. I'll go and hunt me a jackal and make myself a ring. From what I understand... no, not here. Here. Is it just with a K? Let's just go with... no, it's not ring. It's an amulet, maybe? Is it jackal? It's jackal. Amulet, thank you. I was gonna get there one way or another. Is this one? Okay, yeah, so... this one is still made with that one. And that's probably too far away. But then, that's when you start using the alpha hair. I might just try to... you got the tier 2? Yeah, I might just try to go over to Legion once I have a whole bunch of hex coin and try to buy the stuff for these from them, because I think they're already working on tier 3 things. And I'm grinding hex coin, so I wanna make the hex coin move the world. Visker, how's it going? Speaking of coin, how much you got? Right now, I don't have much. I have 600 because I improved my mallet and I improved my stand and I improved my storage. But I'm in the process of making a whole bunch more. Why? What do you need, Visker? Zozo, if you're near me, I have lots of teeth. That sounds like a threat. But no, but thank you. I might take you up on that. I might just I don't know where you are. I think you're in the south. I'll probably look for you later. I'm only gonna be streaming for another 3 hours because that's when midnight hits here, and I can't really be loud at that time. Well, I don't want to be loud if my neighbors are enjoying their rest. But a cheap price of helping... oh, sure. I'll get you all the T2 stone you want. Although I don't know if you'll need it by then. Visker, we're just trying to slap together the 6,000 you need for the tier 3 and discover that the tier 2 carts and boats cost 2,000 per. Oh. Interesting. We'll need more money for a higher boat. Alright, so I think becoming a hex coin grinder might be a viable gameplay here. So Visker, basically once I am done with the gathering and crafting that I am doing right now, I should have about 12,000 hex coins, from which I'm spending another 2,000 or 3,000 in improving my hammer. So I will have money to invest. Yes. And Zozo, I'm the dog compound's angel investor in this game, in this playtest. It's been a fun role to fall into. I should start thinking about, you know, interest rates. Nah, just kidding. I've already gotten interest in terms of you guys actually updated my cart back then, armor. I'm guessing I might be able to trade for a bit better armor, although I don't really. Well, if it's a bigger, if it's a higher gathering boost, I might be interested in better armor. Visker saying we've actually taken to dog murder at night since the nerfs came in. Good to know, good to know. So the nerfs, I mean, I like that the nerfs are making that more enjoyable and viable. I still don't think that nerfing is like, nerfing feels like the easy way out. I still feel like it should be possible for them to just make more different tools for players to face those adversities, rather than just balancing, oh, make them stronger, oh, make them weaker, so that they last longer, so that they die more easily. Like the campfires, like, just like you have the campfires that scare animals away or enemies away, maybe it'd be nice to also have lures that you could use to lure them in, or I don't know, some food that will increase your defense for a short period of time, so you have a way of dealing with getting into a very large group. I don't know, just more tools. Yes, the lag spikes. The lag spikes can be really bad. Some of those attacks kill you instead of helping you. Yeah, exactly. Like I was saying earlier, there's definitely a lot of work that needs to be done in terms of how combat works. It is very clear that it's in its infancy, and it makes sense. It's the very first test that we have had it. Right now the tools are melee. One of the things that I think it was Grayson that was asking Voxel last night was if there's a reason that all the monster hunting tools are melee, or if it's possible that eventually there might be ranged weapons, or I guess a wider variety of weapons. I don't know that it'll go that way. If you have the Claymore, don't use the 3. Did they not fix it? They said they were gonna fix it. I actually have the Claymore because I wanted to test it. I just haven't gone killing wolves yet. And we need ranged weapons. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice, but even just clearly differentiating the types of damage. Like right now, you have short sword damage, you have claymore damage, you have the blunt damage from the mace. So like having the different types of damage have different effects in with the animals. Like maybe the spear has a slow debuff that it applies to them. Maybe the short sword has a bleed effect. Maybe the mace has, I don't know, a lower defense effect, so that the combat just becomes more interesting and not just make them stronger, make them weaker. I hope that the make them stronger, make them weaker approach right now is just a patch to make adversity manageable while they iron out, you know, the lag and the glitches and all of that. But yeah, I wouldn't expect combat to look the same in future tests. Visker saying, I thought I saw the fix in the patch notes. Yeah, I did see that in the patch notes. I don't know if it's implemented, so I'll probably go test it later. And if one of you tries it out and figures it out, then let us know. Zozo, if you have a spear and a shield, don't use 2 unless it's only 1 jackal. That's actually what War Dogs had on, and yeah, the slowdown was also a deadly effect, but that's also supposed to have been fixed in the patch notes. I want the mace to stun them. Yeah, exactly. Like, just find cool ways for the different types of weapons to be more different and, you know, develop into strategies for monster hunting. I think that's a better future than just nerfing and buffing. Supposedly they rolled back yesterday. Yeah, yesterday they tried to implement it. It was messed up. They rolled it back, and then this morning, well, I think it was morning for me. Let me go back and see what time. It was Minch announcing at, oh, actually just a few hours ago at my 5 o'clock. So about, what, 4 hours ago? Minch was posting that they have now re-released the content with the changes, and you should be able to go into a fixed game when you go in to play Zozo. You should not need to run for your life too much. Zozo saying, yeah, I updated the client, but we'll see. I haven't used my SNS yet. What is that SNS? Oh, Spear and Shield. I got it. I just... last night, Argixel and Lanny Day and a whole bunch of people from Napoli showed up in town. I think they were gathering things, and one of their members was given a sword and I mean a spear and shield, and told that they were now the tank, and their answer was like, WTF, I'm a miner. And Argixel's response was something like, you haven't lived until you've been bludgeoned to death by wolves, or something like that. I don't know, it was a funny conversation, and I didn't understand the SNS. The per miner. Yeah, let me find this the quote, because I took a screenshot and I saved the quote. I actually sent it to Argy. Where is it? There you are. I just DM'd you the quote. It's so good. And I mean, it definitely is. It's fun that players that might not really have come into the game thinking about combat might be shown the possibility in an appealing way. I think that would be really cool. I mean, dwarves, as I was saying, I mean, dwarves are miners and should be tanks. Well, yeah, I mean, it does make sense that certain jobs would be better suited for different abilities. Like, it would be cool if eventually having certain levels in certain professions also impacts different sort of stat sheet, in a way that, you know, there's so many different skills and so many different combinations that could affect combat stats, base stats, region stats, or maybe additional stats. So, you know, you could have two no, where was that window? You could have two high tier slayers that have completely different levels on their other professions, and because of that they have different buffs or different stats or different advantages and disadvantages. So saying a certain number of levels in smithing, mining, forestry should give you more strength. That means you hit harder. Exactly. And for example, a higher level in foraging or hunting should give you more, like, agility, or like, I don't know, something like that. Like, yeah, skills, professions, giving players like small bonuses. It doesn't have to be something big, just like tiny little margins one way or another that encourage players that maybe have not really approached combat because they might not really be interested, but they've been crafting and they're like super strong miners and smithies and masons, and then they realize that, oh, I can withstand those enemies, and I can go out and help other friends tank them and whatnot. Zozo saying, and high hunting should give you dexterity. That means you can crit better. Yeah, for example, there are so many things that you can do with this. I mean, Scholar, I would also consider Scholar something that would allow you to have higher crit. You know, because you've studied the monsters and you know where their weaknesses are. Tailoring might make your hands more dexterous as well. I don't know, like there's different things. There's maybe even like, I don't know, there could be effects such as Fisherman's could just be luckier. I don't know, and improve slightly the rate drop of enemies. That way it encourages players to not have multi accounts, because you want all the experience of all the things in your main characters, because it will actually give you an edge and it'll interact with the other things. That's another thing that we were actually talking about with Voxel in the Discord VC last night. Mount Gypsy feels a little bit less abundant than it's been before. It's not that bad, but it's gonna be a slow grind. Zozo saying our scholars rarity drop race. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of creative ways in which you can intermingle all the things. Right now, of course, there can be thousands of ideas, but the first thing is that things need to be functional. So I mean, you cannot really start worrying about those details while jackals are spawning where they shouldn't and doing things they shouldn't. But definitely shows that there is a lot of room for things to be worked out in different ways. I think the overflow on monster drops right now is also Twitch chat breaking on you. What do I mean? Did the chat break? How did the chat break? I can still see the chat on. I have my phone like next to me just so that I can make sure the stream looks like it should. Oh, it's not me. It's Twitch? Huh. I don't know if Kaylin is still here, but is or Visker, if you guys are still around, can you confirm or deny if it's a Zozo thing or a general Twitch thing? Hey Kaylin, is chat working okay for you? Twitchy chat is just buggy in general. Oh hey Melik, good to know you're still here. I'm not sure exactly what's breaking because I don't see what Zozo sees, but yeah, apparently something's happening with Twitch. Maybe it's just a matter of reloading your tab. I don't think I've ever had bugs in Twitch chat, but I probably haven't spent as much time as you have on it, Zozo, to consider if something is a general occurrence or not. And I forgot my train of thought. It was probably about adversity, because that's sort of what's been on my head all this time. Zozo saying Kaling is much more experienced on in the consumer side. Yeah, it is a different experience, I guess. I'm not very experienced on the streamer side. I used to stream not very frequently, but somewhat frequently. Like back when the pandemic started, I I played a lot of Magic the Gathering. So I would stream, you know, set reveals and then drafts and matches there. Been a while since I last played, and one of those things that you really need to kind of keep up with if you want to be competitive. But then, yeah, when I set up this stream for Bitcraft, it had been 4 years since the last stream. It took a little bit of relearning. I was never really good at it either. I don't have a lot of bells and whistles. I should probably go and cycle those. Wait, am I going the right way? No, I'm not going the right way. Cycle the bricks again. Oh, I'm far at the north. Oh no, never mind. The north is where the masonry station is. Getting used to where the stations are, I mean, it took me a bit. I think I'm getting there. I'm familiar with the town layout. But for some reason, I always think that the bank is at the north end of town. Just because in my head, having been born and lived all my life in the northern hemisphere, I always think north as up. Oh, okay, I probably already have as much mud as I will need for things. So I can probably just drop the rest in the ground. But yeah, I always thought the bank was north, so I always thought that the masonry station would be on the south part of the claim, of the settlement, and I would always run around. Which camp are you at? I'm in the western one. Oh, you want mud? I got all the mud you want. I mean, I can go there. I haven't teleported back in a while, so I can take a trip. You want just a full inventory of mud? Need to probably... Yeah, I know you're in the southern one. I went by you when I went to the ancient temple, I think. How much more mud do you need? You don't want mud? Do you want mud? It is a lot of mud, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's not like I can spare it. That's too much? There's never too much mud. Because then it all turns into bricks. I did fill the oven, didn't I? Yeah. How am I doing with gypside? 29. Alright, should I go fishing now? No, I'll fish later. So, no mud? Do I just drop it on the ground? Zozo? Actually, I probably don't even need this stack there. Well, that's probably gonna be enough mud for a while. Zozo, I saw and wanted, but now I'm scared of my inventory. Yes. If you overextend just a little bit, inventory management is a real nightmare. Because one of my biggest issues with the way that they've done deployables right now used to be that you could only deploy one of each. No, you could only deploy up to 4. So that would actually be allow you to do 4 like personal boxes, right? And apparently they changed it to where you can only deploy one of each kind of things. And I think that's probably a mistake. It's too limiting. It stops you from moving your inventory from the one to the next when you upgrade, it limits the possibility of trade. Like if I was a full-on trader, I would rather just have, you know, my one boat for transport and my one cart, and then the other two slots, instead of having personal storage, just have two different stalls in two different places. I don't know, I feel that needs to be more versatile to different player styles. Visker's saying, I don't know how y'all plan on getting stuff out to that claim location Liam chose last night. Where are they? Guide me, oh wise one. Which direction do I move my map? Really far north? Okay. Let me turn the grid on. Really far north. Okay, this is the end of the world to the north. No. Maybe not that far to the north. Oh, okay. Adjacent to the tundra, so it's probably a little bit lower. Okay, here. Classes Borealis, Pitcairn. Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, I'm guessing it's this one. Yep. That's gonna be far. I don't have, obviously, the map unlocked, but I can see that's far. Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be a trip. It mostly depends not so much onto how far north or how far in a general direction it is, but just how far from shore. If you get there by boat, like if it's close to where you park your boat, it's not a big deal. Visker saying, can't really raft or cart to it either. And you need a lot of T1, T2 materials to work and stuff. Yeah, you need to set up a perimeter, and that's T1 trunks. And that means if, like, I mean, when you say you can't really raft or cart to it, it probably means you can't do it easily, which means you're gonna have to do a lot of terraforming. I might actually want to pedal my digging work to them, because my intention is to get the better hammer as soon as possible. So maybe I'll charge them like certain amount of hex coins per hour of digging or something like that. Let's see if they'll take it. Zozo saying, but claims can be moved now, so we're looking to move it. Yeah, how exactly does that work? So if you deconstruct it, you just get the same deed back? I don't think we get all the mats. Oh, okay, so it deconstructs into materials. I know that early on, War Dogs considered deconstructing the totem when we were thinking about the better placement of it, but I don't think that he ended up doing it, so I don't think I know anyone that has actually done it and that could tell us exactly what happens. It would probably be possible. The research won't transfer. Okay, the thing is, if you get the deed back and it's just that the research won't transfer and you're saying like you're starting from zero, I mean, that's not nice, but that's not bad either. If you get back a random assortment of the things and you have to craft it back, like buy it back from Rumba again, then it's probably more practical to just make a new one. And depending on how much research you've done in it, it might even be more sensible to just make a new deed with Rumble. Although if you no longer have any use for the previous claim, I guess it does make sense to just scuttle the whole thing and get as much materials back from that as you can in order to sort of ease the transition for the next one. Yeah, it's a tough call that it's best made as early as possible. If you find that the position that you're in is not what you you expect, then yeah. How much does the better hammer cost? I'll show you 1 second. Mallet. Here we go. So the first upgrade is 250 and your first hammer, it goes into that one. The next one is 500 and that hammer to the next one, then 750, 1000, 1250 to 2500 for the very best one that has 40 construction power. Right now I have this one that has 20. It feels like the step up is not that, well, it's 5 each. I mean, it's probably still good. I'm too lazy to do the math right now, but my head is saying somewhere around 5,000, like equivalent to a goat or a claim size investment. But yeah, so if you guys set up a claim and you're seriously reconsidering that you've placed it in the right place, just stock up on everything that you'll need. It's probably a lot easier to have the trunks with you to set up the perimeter than the way that we ended up doing it in the dog compound. I'm so devastated that my VOD for that stream didn't save, because it was such a good time. Visker just barely staying awake. Everyone just trying to gather as much stuff as we could and bring up that wall as fast as possible before nightfall. Then some experimentation and shenanigans once the night hit. A little bit of dying. Good times, good times. I think it's probably worth it for me to just go back every time I gather 10 gypsite. I really wish it wouldn't autopath into the water so much. Like, it takes so much to jump down and up. Might want to make a few more road infrastructure around here just for ease of autopathing. Right, now I need to... Okay, the easy way is gonna be drop that there. Come here, grab that. And drop the next batch. Pop that in there. I've already cleaned up all the mud on that side. Alright, there's mud here. Well, early gypsite, that's always good. Ugh. Has any of you been leveling tailoring? I keep hearing that it's felt like too grindy or too slow. but I don't know anyone that's actually actively pursued it and what their experience might be. Probably not if it actually is grindy. Visker says I'm 30 Taylor. It ain't quick, okay, but is it slow in terms of the materials to experience ratio feels slow? Visker, people grinding making ropes is slower than making pure cloth. That makes sense though. That makes sense. I mean, for me, carpentry has felt like it's slow to level. Also because I stop at planks and I don't make timber. And it's it's very few processing steps, and I think it's sort of the same with tailoring and into like making ropes. They're saying, and if people aren't getting the weave from the farming in the starting town, they'll be doing rope constantly. And that, yeah, earlier in the stream we were talking about how much of a problem farming was early on. The fact that it's just one station that has only 10 slots makes the drop rate, it makes the drop rate feel fairly punishing, I think, because it also, like, you have 3 different crops that feed to basically 3 different jobs, right? Because you have the ember grain that has... Ember grain is just for cooking, right? Then you have the bulbs that is for cooking, but you also get the oil that goes into the refined planks. And then you have the fibers. Oh, also the ember grain has the straw. So like it's all over the place. It's a very... There's a lot of demand from different places into farm resources, and there's not a lot of space allocation for a farmer to really like be able to produce enough for that. Visker saying, yeah, that's the value of player towns, since we can have a lot more farms and it makes the passive crafts more palatable. 100%, but I still think that that's a roundabout solution to design problem. And the design problem is clearly, and it's been said since the first test, that farming is not like the iteration of farming that we have right now is not representative of what will be in the game, which I accepted in the first test. I felt, okay, they at least made some improvements to make it more, like, to improve the quality of life in the second one, because the first test I was a farmer and I was in charge of a 200 plot farm. Each single plot was its own building, so that was rough. The second test, it was a lot better. I did not go into farming in that one, but it was a lot better. But you still needed at least 4 of the 7 slot farm plots to just be viable and like to cover all your needs in your own claim if you're doing your own thing. So one single plot on the main town feels like they just don't really know, or they haven't really experienced what farming really is. I don't know. Like, I know they do their internal testing, but it's such an obvious problem to me that I don't know if maybe they just have the one, like they have the roles assigned in the team, and the one person that is assigned the farm role is known to complain a lot about things and they just don't take them seriously. But there are serious problems with the farming, and while on the first test, I can easily accept that they haven't gotten around to doing all the systems the way they are intended. We're on the third test now, and they have done a lot of things in the skill progression chain, and it feels like they still haven't paid attention to farming. It still hasn't gotten the love it deserves. I might be wrong, and they might actually be trying to make it better and just not seeing some things, but I think that this is very obvious, and it was very obvious like from day one, at least to me. The farming station just needs more. It needs more slots. I can understand that if you think about a town in a realistic way, you would have really vast farm fields for a moderate sized population, and I think it's cool that that would be the same way here. Like, I definitely want to see settlements with farmland. However, like, this is like at the starting farm, there should be a minimum surface that covers the requirements of at least an individual, and one farm plot does not cover the needs for one individual, the way I see it. I could be wrong, and it's just that maybe there's not enough players that have been interested in getting into farming early on, and I could understand that. Like, it doesn't feel like the most exciting job, probably for most players. But then I don't know, like, they're either make it less important and take some of the load away from it, or make it more fun. I also don't know if, like, they've made so many of the rare drops into farming to try to force people into take that job. If that's been their approach, I think it's again the mentality of punishing people into a specific gameplay instead of rewarding or motivating or incentivizing that kind of gameplay, and it feels like a bad approach to the design. Because maybe it's just that. Maybe they thought, well, if we make more things from farming being necessary, then people will be farming more. I don't know. It doesn't feel like it should be that way. Maybe just make the one thing that is necessary, and just make sure that the drop rate makes sense, that in a way that it covers the needs for it, and, you know, just don't overload it and scare people away from it. Although I don't know that people would be scared away from it. I think it might just be a matter of it doesn't have a lot of interest. But then if you know that it's a job that less people are going to take, yeah, bump up the drop rate. Have the one person be able to supply more people. There's always so many more blacksmiths in the world that the world needs, just because it's a popular job in gaming culture, I guess. Hunting would be if it was better or more enjoyable again. Right now it's also kind of a tedious task and people still shy away from it. But that's not because the job is inherently unattractive, it's more of a mechanic issue. If farming is just inherently less attractive, and you are going to have less players to count on to supply that niche, then just give them more power, make them able to supply that niche. Alright, so you go here. Can I Oh yeah, it keeps stacking up. That's good to know. I don't want to drop any mod in there. I want to claim these bricks and place another batch. Now, should I go fish now? Well, I should check how much how much crushed shells I have, because I know I have a few, and I might. No, I think I grabbed all the gypsite that I had. I haven't actually looked at how much money is in here. Okay, there's some money in there. And let's see. Oh yeah, I do have more gypsite here and some crushed shells. Let's bring this back. There we go. So 63 gypsite. Yeah, let's change things around and go fishing for a bit. Can I not deploy it? Oh, there we go. Okay. This seems to be all crawdads, and I should clear some inventory for them. I also don't really have any use for all the rest of the mod. Is there anything that you can do with only mod? Nope. Build? Oh, okay. You can do a building. I haven't discovered it yet? Interesting. I thought I purchased the... Oh, it's probably because it's the tier 1 and they removed the tier 1 buildings. Yeah, I was like, I'm sure I can build an oven. Yeah, that's probably it. So, because they removed the tier 1 buildings from the test, right now it says I can use it to build something, but I haven't discovered it yet, because it's not a recipe that we've been given access to. As simple as that. Now, let's hope I get lucky with the crawdads. The last time I think I had like 90 crawdads, and that turned into about 20 gypsite. So I'm probably just gonna try to do the full inventory. Oh, I ran out of food actually. I'm gonna leave the raft there. And I'm gonna grab more food. There we go. There we go. Oh, look at that. That fell's in main chat. Fel was my neighbor on the last test, so every time I see them, I greet them. What are they up to? Twins seem rare? Someone looking for twins? Found twins a bunch, only Rico ones. I had to look for him. Just an FYI, you can find travelers with the, what's it called? Trade Finder. Just search for something they trade with, and it'll filter results with that traveler, and you can click on the map pointer thing, and it not think, and it will show you where they are in the map. It also shows the closest one first, because that's a big difference to how things worked before. Finding travelers was a pain. It would basically involve running around trying to find out where they are, and because many of the times what you wanted to trade with them was cargo, you would like leave your vehicle in a central point and then just run around to find them, and then go back to grab your vehicle and just beeline it to them. But you could be unlucky and just have them disappear on you, and then that was really frustrating. Whereas now you can just say, oh, I need Bricko. I learned earlier that he likes the alpha thingy, so here are the Brickos around me. It makes it so much easier. Like, there's one around here in the middle of the map, there's one around there, which probably would be easier for me to find. I'm assuming it's this thing here in the middle. The other one is an area that I haven't explored, so you could take that as an opportunity to go and explore that area, or go to the one that's just marginally farther, 570 versus 666, which I think is the tiles, the number of tiles that you would have to walk to get there. But I mean, I know if it's here, I know I can easily and safely walk here and just swim and get there and not even have to worry about jackals. So it's definitely a handy tool to have. Do I have a fishing ring? Oh no, that's the red one. That's the one that I don't have. I think my music died. Did it die? I think it might have. Or did I lower the volume in my settings, perhaps? No? I think I just stopped streaming music. I use a website called Chill Hop. Kelly's saying, oh, you just got an update from one of my friends that she's rushing T3 for Foothills for tonight. Nice. So you guys are gonna be setting up T3 stations in Foothills, is what you're saying? If you manage to do so, yeah. Cool. Really cool. Are there tier 3 materials up in that forest? I can't really remember. There's, oh yeah, there's some of the trees, right? Some of the trees were tier 3. Maybe also the ore? Was it tier 3 ore in there? I need to sleep first. Yes, get some sleep, killing. That is important indeed. There is fiber and trees and stone. Okay. Oh, and ore. I mean, that's good. That's good to get going and, you know, start stockpiling in those things, and then there's less things that you sort of need to import. Visker saying, I'm unsure what to do about T3 stuff since the T1, T2 material requirement grows exponentially with higher tiers. Yeah, that's definitely a thing. That is definitely a thing. I think, like, that's why it sort of makes sense to either have claim in an area where you can work tier 1 and tier 2 stuff, or just keep your, like right now I know that I am using my storage in the main town because I am crafting in the main town. I try to avoid depending on the bank as much as possible, just to know how much I can manage with my normal storage. So if you're working on a tier 3 area, like if you set up a claim where there's mostly tier 3 stuff, if somebody was to set up in the autumn forest, for example, then it would make sense to find the nearest source of tier 1 and 2 materials where you could just set up storage and a market stall, and you can set up a listing in the market stall for the things that you need, so that whenever you go there, you know, you can do your own gathering and your own crafting for the things that you need. But if you've already purchased some of it, then you'll spend less time in there and you can head back, and you would be able to use your personal storage to do the gathering and crafting of whatever it is that you need in the area before you bring it home. I don't think it really becomes necessary to have your own claim in each area, or your own group's claim. It is, I guess, more comfortable if you have access to the claims storage, but I think it should definitely be possible for, like, whoever is doing, I don't know, mining in the dog compound, to just go on an expedition to mine the whatever tier things that they need, and craft whatever it is that they need to craft, and then bring it back. Kaling saying, apparently you can buy teleport stone at T3 for 25,000 hex coin, so I hope to have that ready this weekend. Yes, I've heard about that. It's the waypoint stone, I think. I've heard that mentioned. Is it this thing? Waystone energy source. An energy source that could be used to power a waystone in a town. Waystones allow players to teleport to other waystones in the world. 100%, because that connects you with the starting towns, and that might actually be like a second wind, a second wave of activity in the starting towns. At T3, I thought it was T4. I have heard T3 Zozo. I haven't really looked into it, but I have heard T3. Visker saying, I think someone said in class chat it was T4. Kaling, yeah, Zozo, Voxel first said T4, but he was wrong. Ha! Voxel being wrong. Visker, we'll find out soon then. Yeah, I mean, what does the compendium say? Not much. What does the building say? Can I see it? I cannot see it. Is it something that you buy from a trader? Like the blueprint? Oh, you posted it in the critical? Thank you. I can see the waystone being I'm assuming it's probably that you need to grab, like, to touch the waystone to unlock the recipe, and then this becomes one of the ingredients, maybe? Because I don't see anything about it in the... Oh, maybe here in the structures? No, it's also not showing here. Malik saying it says buy from Heimlich in the compendium. Yeah, exactly. In here in the trade finder, if I search for way and give it time to load, it'll show me the traders that have it. So likely Heimlich, as you say, 25,000 coins, as has been said. And oh, it does say in the compendium, yeah, 25,000. But the thing is, I'm not able to see the, like, what I wanted to figure out was finding the building itself, or the blueprint, to know if it was T3 or T4. But I'm assuming the recipe unlocks when you grab it, so yeah, we won't know soon. We'll know eventually. No, it is not cheap. It definitely is not cheap. It would probably require group effort on hex grinding. Like, I'm guessing it's probably going to take me another couple hours to go through the hex grinding that I'm doing right now, and that's to get about 1250 roughly hex coin, which is half of what is needed there. If I had more people, like if it was more people doing it, then that would cut the time. So yeah, I mean, if you have 4 people like working around the clock to do that, you could probably get it in a couple of hours. 1 or 2 hours, yeah. I'm not entirely sure, because it might be longer, because I haven't even started producing them. I'll have to, and I'm not counting the time it took me to get the paste, because I'm making, no, that's here. I'm grinding a lot of these things, which means I had already done most of the grinding for these things. I already had 97 of the potter mixes when I logged in today. It sucks that you can see the materials required, but oh, okay, the output is because that's where I am. Ah, silly me. There we go. Let's go back to here. So I already had those to make the bricks, and I'm just baking them because it's time consuming, and I'm using the time while they're baking to gather the things for the gypsum and the shells. So I would probably need to add the time that I spent last night getting mud and rock, which is not that much. I think the longest time is getting the rare drop resources, which is the gypsum and the shells. If people have had their clan members already doing fishing and already doing all the gathering, they might already have a whole bunch of rare drops, and it definitely is worth it to sell those to Rumbo. Like, at first I didn't know if it made sense to work towards refined things to sell to Rumbo, but I think it does. It's 125 hex coins for a single... Oh, thank Malik, but I'm not really working towards that, unless you mean to someone else that is actively working towards that waystone goal. But yeah, like, some groups might already have some other rare things, and it's just a matter of baking bricks or baking ingots or making cloth and then refining it. And if that's the case, then that should take less time. But I guess they're also working on getting the codexes. So that's probably a load on the refined items. It's a bit, it's a bit of what your immediate goal is. It kind of depends on that. I'm assuming that tier 2 and tier 3 resources are also tradable with Rumba and will give you more. I don't know because I haven't gone that path yet. I probably should have considered doing that instead of just grinding this. But I mean, I was fairly sleep deprived last night when I set off on this route and it's too late to back out. Yeah, if the tier 2 bricks, for example, would give you more money, then you will get the money faster. Oh, I do need the shells to make fire sand, Malik, and I appreciate the offer. I just don't really have anything to give for them, unless you want mod. I have a lot of mod. Or maybe if you want gems, I have gems. I could trade you gems for shells if you'd like. I have some gems and gem fragments. Oh, really? Well, that would be very generous of you. In that case, I will definitely not look the horse gift in the mouth. Alright, I've gotten about 100 crayfish. Let's see how many shells I get for this. Oh, but you're also... Oh, no, you're here. Oh, you're right here. Well, if you're willing to donate to the cause, feel free to trade me. I am going to the fishing station to craft the crawdads. Malik saying, I'm not really grinding for anything specific. I mean, that's fair, but things that you have that have value might still open other doors. It kind of sucks that trade is just not really working well right now, because you could... Theoretically, you should be able to just post them in your trader stall and be able to get some hex coins for them. And hex coins really just don't use any space in your inventory, and they are versatile in the sense that you can always use them for something. So like, honestly, my suggestion would be to try to do that. Like, walk around and see how many other people have posted shells in their carts and see which ones have sold and which ones haven't. The ones that haven't are probably priced too high, and the ones that have sold are probably priced at a decent rate. And you can just post them somewhere along that range, depending on if you want to sell them fast. Just post them for the same price that you see that somebody already sold them for, and definitely somebody will buy them from you. I'm just saying, like, I mean, I really appreciate if you just want to give them away, but I would advise against it, is what I'm saying. Like, every little thing adds up. Malik saying, I don't mind donating. I mean, yeah, if you wanna give them to me, I will accept them. I will not say no. So you can just feel free to offer me a trade, and I'll take it. I can even give you. No, I don't have my white ring because I have an extra white ring. I can give you a white ring, actually. Yeah. Do you have the white the diamond ring? Because I have 2 of those, and I don't need 2 of those. So if you don't have it, I can give you that one. Let me go grab it. This here. Let me find you again. Oh, don't go away. There you go. It's got a boost for forestry and carpentry. So that should help you. And it makes me feel better to know that I was able to give something back. You're welcome. Now let's see how I do with the RNG game of shells, because for the shells you could get 0 or you could get 1, which technically means I could get anywhere between, how many were they? 0 and 108. So from what I've been talking with Voxel in the previous test, and it seems it hasn't changed, the drop rate should be about 25%, so I should be getting about 26 of them. We'll see. Malik saying that will be good when I'm chopping trees to make bricks. Yeah, more to the 0 side. Yeah, sometimes it feels more to the 0 side. And yeah, it's good for chopping trees. It's good for using like turning those trees into planks. And what was the other thing it was for? Let's see, diamond ring. Oh, hunting and leatherworking. So hunting is actually an activity that will be in high demand pretty much all the time early on. As groups progress through the tiers, there's always going to be a high demand for leather, because the hunting system is just not, I mean, it's not bad, but it's not so good. The fact that it's the one, like, it's the same as the other gathering skills in terms of you go out there and you find something that gives you a cargo and you bring cargo to town. The problem is trees don't run, rocks don't run, mud doesn't run, but birds do. And that simple thing makes the whole difference. So let's see. Yeah, I got 11. It definitely is leaning more towards a 0. I think I have been storing the bait up here, because while I'm not fishing right now, I don't discard the possibility of eventually maybe doing so. But yeah, I mean, with that diamond ring, if you know, at some point you're not really sure what you want to do and just want to hang out and see what's people are doing and what people might want, if you go out and hunt birds, people will always want to buy birds off of you. And I mean, don't sell the birds, process the birds in the bench and get the pelts. You can turn the meat into food and just feed yourself, or sell it to, well, I don't know if any cooks will be buying meat. Maybe they will. And then the leather part, it should give you a pretty good income. Oh, I want to make 3 more of those just because I don't like non-round numbers. There's no rock nearby. No. Animal hair is also a good seller, yes. Oh, if you're cooking, then that should be a very good additional activity for you to take part in. You already have the ring that will give you a boost with it, and yeah, it's always an activity in demand. It has famously been a bottleneck in all tests so far, I think. It's always hunting. I really think they need to rethink the drop rate for hunting, because it doesn't make sense that it has the same drop rate as other gathering skills when the target runs away. That changes the amount of time that it takes to gather by a lot. And it kind of feels like it's not taken into consideration. What bug are they talking about in chat? Why is my card grayed out? I can't even return it. Oh, the distance. Yeah. What they're talking about is this. You can recover your vehicles if, I mean, if you get killed by wolves, for example, and your cart was lost there and you didn't really have anything valuable, and you just, I really just want my cart and I cannot just go all the way there. You could just click and recover it. It's an active timer of 20 something seconds, and then it'll recover it, and you don't have to be standing next to it. You can move away and do that too. Like, I could do it from here, and let's recover it, and it would still eventually end up in my vault again. However, apparently they added a limitation, or maybe it's a bug like they said. Apparently Minch says that they're working on a solution and that it is a bug. But yeah, you used to be able to recover vehicles even if you were on the complete opposite side of the map, and right now it's not really possible. It's kind of bugging out. Melik saying I sneak by them and then chase them back to town. Oh, the birds? Yeah, what I used to do while hunting, because the last test I somehow ended up helping some groups that didn't have a hunter by hunting. If you find a body of water, you can guide them to the water, and then when they get to the edge they don't go into the water, so it's kind of like a wall, and you can sort of have them stop there, and then it's easier to just chase them around to that one point, and then you can just put your cart in there and load them into the cart. Another thing that you can do is just find like a middle area where you can put the cart, and then you just run away from the cart and start shooting them and pointing them towards the car, so that you're not chasing them away and then have to carry them all the way back. You're chasing them towards the cart, and by the time you kill them, they're not that far from it. Those are two things that I would recommend doing. In this starter biome, the water is kind of limited, but there's a few ponds here and there that could be used. I'm sure there's more here, I just haven't really walked that direction. But yeah, you can definitely use the water as well. Or just like right now there's all these birds up here. I would maybe park my car here, and then I would just run to the farthest ones and start pushing them that way so that they die near the cart. Oh, I didn't really need that much. Got a bit distracted. No, 10% of the server sleeping need to get to 75% before it switches. I'm not sure what they're talking about now. Can we all sleep so it goes to daytime? Yeah, the daytime, nighttime cycle, it's not bad. I think it's about 2 hours, so about an hour and a half daytime and half an hour nighttime, give or take. Which is not bad. But when you are in the wilds, it probably feels longer than it actually is. It basically limits you to just be working inside the claim. I don't know how long the campfire things that they added last for. Let's see if I have it here. Nope. Nope. I wonder where you make them. Or is it an item? Yeah, it's an item. Campfire kit. It's a kit that could be used to build a campfire to protect a small area from jackals. When placed off claim, it lasts between 1 and 2 hours. Okay, that's not bad. So you can sort of like slowly expand around your claim. It takes 4... Okay, it takes tier 1 materials, which is important. Because it takes tier 1 materials, but it's useful in higher tier areas. I'm gonna starve. There we go. I am eating. So that's a little bit of an extra load on tier 1 resources. I'm guessing once more people have waystones in their claims far away, they're gonna be traveling to the starting area a lot more, and people in the starting areas are gonna be able to sell planks and rough pebbles a lot more easily in their trade cells. So hopefully that's something to look forward for a nomadic type player like me. It does make sense then to just, for now at least, keep my trade stall in this starting area. And it looks like the output is just considered an item. I wonder if it stacks. Where do you make it? You make it in the carpentry station. Alright. Wait, let me... Always collect your carts when they're empty, so you don't find yourself in the other end of the world and not being able to recall them. Tip of the day. I wonder if you can stack them. Oh, never mind. I actually needed to finish those pebbles because I will need pebbles to make that thing. That was not a good moment for me. There we go. Because what I want to know is if they stack. If they stack, they are very cheap to make. If they last 1 to 2 hours, that's a long time. Actually, that's actually a wide range of time. What determines how long they last? Between 1 and 2 hours. I guess... I don't know why they're doing it like that. I mean, I guess it's probably so that if you place it first time in the morning, they disappear before the night is over, and then you can catch some players that maybe didn't plan accordingly off guard. I know some of the devs do enjoy torturing players, which I mean, I don't mind. it's one of the things I mentioned on the feedback post I put. I don't mind being I don't mind the punishment. I don't mind being punished if it's done in a fun way. So I don't mind things being difficult. I don't mind things being challenging, as long as they're fun and it doesn't feel like it's just somebody making things difficult out of spite and laughing at other people. Which so far I don't think I've gotten that feeling from this game. But sometimes I think the inclinations get close to that every now and then. I'm pretty sure that they've had much more horrible ideas that they could have implemented that they haven't. Let's put it that way. But yeah, with those things, if you can stack up to 10 and they're not that expensive to make, you could have player whose responsibility is to keep the road safe, you know, like set up those things in the roads that lead towards your claim, like around midday, so that they're there for part of the day and the whole night. We'll have to see what the area that they cover is, because Mofibi in the Kitty Cult chat was telling us that the range was not too big. If you need to place them too close to each other, then that's not... I mean, it's good that they're cheap, but it's gonna look awkward. Voxel also mentioned that braziers are going to be... or braziers, I don't know what the word is. The metal things with fire are going to be implemented, and those will also be sources of life, and those are close to indestructible and like permanent. So maybe the campfire thing that they use right now is more of a crutch, because, you know, it's very different what the world will look like when it's lived in, when the roads are built, and when all the torches are placed where they need to go. It will be a very different world. That's why I don't think adversity is too high right now. Like, I don't think they need to dial it down too much. I think they just need to make the mechanisms work, and give us tools to get to that point. And I think the campfire is one of those tools. Where was I going with this? No, just that. Like, if they stack, then those like trailblazing groups that are going to the frontier lands and whacking the bushes and building the towns and paving the roads have this as a very convenient tool to keep their workers safe while they work. If it's cheap to make and it stacks to 10, then you can do a lot with not too much things, which is good. I wonder what happened to my music. Some of the sound effects from the site are still working, but the music is not. Like, this sound is coming from that source. I don't know if it's audible, probably is, like the little chirping bird. And it's sort of like ambience that you can put behind the music, but the music itself is just not... the music is not musicking. I'm not sure what's happening. And it's not reloading either. I'm guessing it's probably a problem with their website. That's sad. Oh, I need to eat. Snow Phoenix selling T1 mod. Somebody was asking how long the night is. Keishi, I believe day-night cycle is 2 hours, 1.5 daytime, 0.5 night time. Also wish I could make this bigger. They really need to give us a better chat. Someone was saying based entirely on filling 15 minutes. No, it's not 15 minutes. Unless they've changed it, which I mean they could have with that last update to sort of make it less adverse. At least for the first few days it was half hour. I need to start making shorter tasks. Do I have the right one? Yes, I have the right one. Apparently someone's campfire has lasted about 4 hours. That's good to know. Okay, let's grab that, and let's go make some campfires. I really am just going to make 2, and just because I want to see how they work. Or actually if they stack. What I wanted to see is if they stack. Could I probably just ask in chat and gotten an answer? Yes. Had I thought about it before starting the job? Nope. Let's see. They don't stack. Okay. Oh. Interesting. I mean, it kind of makes sense, but it doesn't at the same time. Because if you're a gatherer and you're depending on those to go out and gather stuff and then cart it back home, depending on the radius of these things, you might need more. What time is it? 35 minutes, so I have no idea how much longer the night is. I'll check that once it's daytime, because I don't want to deal with like 8 jackals. I want to deal with 1, and I also wanted to check the claimer ability to see if that was indeed implemented in the last patch. But I really want to see what the range is for those campfires, because the fact that they don't stack means that realistically you can only carry a few. Even if you're laying them down on the way to the area that you're gathering in. Yeah, I mean, I guess that could work. Like if you fill your inventory with like 20 of them, and you just like walk a little bit, drop one, walk a little bit further away, drop another one, then you have a free inventory to gather on the way back. Yeah, I guess that could work. The thing is, if they stack, then you just eliminate that problem, because you just have like, you carry maybe 3 stacks and you deploy some on the way there, and you always have like 1 in case you have to go a little bit further away, because on the on the path that you were walking, you just didn't find everything that you needed. So just having a few extras could help. Alright, how are we doing with bricks? 79. Oh, did I just not move the... Oh, no, 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 no. It was not the bricks that were my limitation. It was the wood. I thought I had enough wood in there, and I didn't. So I just went out to gather rocks that I didn't need. Let's just grab a full stack. There we go. There we go. 10, please. Yeah, I'll just give them on my inventory right now, and I'll go fishing. Do I have enough food? I have enough food. Which I should eat. I'm gonna take the ones in the middle because the ones around the edges are more handy for newer players that maybe don't have a raft. So it would be like, since I do have it, it's easy for me to park it in here and, you know, take the resources that less people can get instead of competing over the easy one. No new conversation so far. It is kind of the time of day when things just start to pick up, when it's still somewhat late in Europe, but it's afternoon. Like, it's not too late in Europe, but it's afternoon in the US. Although the starting town does seem much less populated than around the same time in previous days. No, starting to be daytime. I might actually go have fun with walls soon. I'm guessing most of the... Well, maybe not most, but a lot of the players must have already been going to settlements that are out there. It makes sense, it's more exciting, it's more fun to see new things and do new things. And also, like, if you're part of a group and you have access to, like, easy access to tools, as long as you do your you know, feel your place in that mechanism and do your part, then you can do higher tier things that are out there. So that part makes sense. I do imagine there's gonna be another influx on activity in the central settlements once people in the outer claims start to get the waystones. In truth, I think there is not a lot of things that that you would not be able to just fill your inventory with them and travel, like, and teleport to the other place where you're gonna use them. Which is something that I'm not sure if I like or I dislike. I did like their policy on no teleporting. The way it is now, basically the dynamic is going to be you will have towns in different places. If I'm like looking to chop tier 3 trees, I will go to the to a claim that's in that area, and I will go gather them. I'll go in there and use their stations to craft them into whatever it is that I want to craft them into. But if I wanted to do that, for example, to bring them back to these other groups claim that I am selling them to, it's probably... well, it'll depend on the cooldown. If the cooldown is 10 minutes, I wonder if it's more efficient to just teleport every 10 minutes and bring full inventories worth of the things, or if it is worth it to package them into cargo and then bring a full boat of cargo with you. It'll be interesting to see. Who's buying and selling things? Refined T1 bricks. Well, I am making them. I could. There we go. Already starting to make hex coin. Potentially. And I do wonder if 150 is a good price or is too low. Because it's only a 25 hex coin benefit for me versus selling it to Rumba. But I don't really want to take advantage of other players. Like, I feel any profit is already good if I already have a guaranteed baseline profit. Like, anything above it is already increased profit for me. Because they go for 125 with Rumba. I would be making 25 hex coins for, you know, selling them to Wigo. If they'll take them. I don't know if they'll take them. Otherwise, I'll just sell them to Rumba, which is what I was planning for, and that's what my math was already, so... my baseline profits are already there. What achievement did I get? Oh yeah, that's right. I did that this morning. Which hat do I like best? Probably none of them. That was a little bit better. Let's use that one for now. I like the cap, but the cap doesn't showcase the ponytail. What I really want is the straw hat. But I don't think the twins sell cosmetic clothes anymore. Deal I'm in south? Alright. I don't know why you'd insist on jumping up and down instead of going around. Yeah, I really need it. Oh yeah, I understand, my friend. Just to confirm that they were talking T1? Yes, they were talking T1. Oh, I need to cook the fire sand. They'll wait. Right? Kinda have to. Alrighty. Let's just do this 3 for now. Because I don't want to spend more time at this moment, if I can help it. So that I can go back to doing the rest of them. I wonder if once I've got all of them, maybe I'll just post them for sale at 150 on my trade stall. For maybe a day before I do the Rumba thing. Maybe more people will buy them. Like, people are starting to get to the point where they're saying, yes, I need more storage. And while you can get a lot of things in the other places, tier 1 rock, I think, is pretty much just here. Like, you can get tier 1 wood elsewhere. But I think I mean, there might be tier 1 rock elsewhere as well, but maybe it's just in less quantities. I don't know. Yeah, 3 of these. Let me count them. Oh, I can probably see it in my vault better. 20 items and 6 cargo. Claim. And head over. They said south, right? Yes, south. Leather station. Cool, cool, cool. Marine town, south. Oh, Snow Phoenix is now selling Firelight tools. I was actively trying to find that yesterday. Too late. Where's the south? That way. I see Wiggle. Oh, wait, that's too much. Oh. Alright, I'm just gonna sit here. There we go. I got my monies. They got our things. Oh, it's a Briss. Briss is part of the Tortuga claim. I was helping them around the end of the test to beat, I think it was Umbilica that was racing to tier 6. So the pirates lost most of their members when the hex coin balancing happened, so I was giving them a hand. Extremely disoriented. Yeah, give yourself a few minutes to adjust. It really can be a lot to take in. I didn't even know how to sit. Sit used to be R. R was resting, so you would sit. But now it's, I guess, an emote action only. Yeah, no additional stamina regain. You got a snack for that. For that and to not die. Yeah. Alright. So, back to fishing. Did it not teleport? What happened? Oh, can't teleport. Where's the nearest lake? Okay, over there. Yeah, I forgot about the cooldown. Oh, this is a really small pond. Oh, okay, they have a bigger one there. There's rock spawned in the pond. That's awesome. It kind of feels like that right now. It's actually something that I absolutely don't mind, because I'm weird that way probably, but I know that it makes people uncomfortable and that makes me giggle inside. Oh yeah, actually, so it's 4 minutes. I can also do the experiment with the wolves now. I'll do that. With the campfire, I want to see how large the range is. And if I die, I get sent home anyway. So it's a win-win. I also get to explore a little bit more of the map, of which I've discovered 1.13%. Someone's been mining for gems. Looks like somebody wanted, I'm assuming, to gather geodes. It did feel more bustling, this town, than the one I'm in. Maybe I'll move my trading stall there later. I have no idea which way the dangerous forest is from here. Clearly further away than I expected. Oh, is that starting to change in the horizon? Is that a wolf pup? No, those are birds. Oh yeah, no, it is starting to change. There we go. We have found our target. I'm gonna switch to global. Alright, let's find ourselves a fluff pup. No, that's a bird. There's a red spot on the north. Oh, there's a ruin here. So they have also made it so these things give you... Oh, it's not actually that big of a safety spot. No, I'm actually nearby and I'm not getting any safety from it. There are much less monsters out here than there were before. Before the patch. No, somebody actually left a geode there. There's actually so few wolves now that I think it's detrimental. Unless they've actually changed it in a way that there are just no wolves during the day. Which if they did, I feel it's a big mistake. No, there we go. Okay, so there's one there. Yep, they see me and they're stalking, so I'm gonna drop that. No, that's not how it works. How does it work? How does it work? A campfire kit that could be used to... And I have to run. If it was one, I'd test the sword thing. Alright, let's test the sword thing. It's only one. No, come back. Come back. Come back. Okay, you'll do. Yeah, over here, over here. There we go. No! Oh, they're much less aggressive. Much less aggressive. You even have to convince them to hunt you. Yes, you. Yes, you. Here, this way, this way. I'm not gonna go any further because then you're not gonna want to play. So, there was some problems with this thing. It's supposed to... Oh, okay, this is a powerful strike. I think it was making you hit less or be less effective somehow. Oh, we have someone else wanting to join the party. I'm not interested in fighting two at a time. It feels fine. Oh, that's 3. Yeah, I'm getting out of here. I guess it's functional now. So whatever the problem was, I feel it's been fixed. Oh, maybe it was this one? Increases your cooldown reduction for 10 seconds, allowing you to attack faster. Oh, so that's probably the one that was giving people trouble. Okay, let's find another wolf. First, how do we use this? It's a campfire kit that could be used to build a campfire to protect a small area from jackals. When placed off claim, this campfire lasts between 1 and 2 hours. Building recipes 1. No, I'm distracted. I don't want to play with you right now. I'm reading. Building recipes 1. Opening compendium. Yes, I obtained it this way. Build. Oh, okay, so did something unlock? Oh, something unlocked. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna set it up here. You need to be next to the building. Yes, I know that. I wanted it to walk here and build it. So it's 2 steps. First set up the project and then build it. The hammer doesn't take effect. It's 5 ticks. There's a wolf there that is looking at me. It's no longer looking at me. It's looking at me. Still looking at me. It's no longer looking at me. Does this make things better? Oh, this guy's probably gonna help me. I don't want you to help me. I appreciate it. Oh, okay, you're not helping me. That's fine then. No, yeah, he is gonna help me. I don't think that it feels different. I don't think it does. So what's the normal cooldown on this? 1.5 seconds. I don't feel that this changed that at all. This is supposed to increase my cooldown reduction for 10 seconds, allowing me to attack faster. It has a global cooldown of 0.5, a cooldown of 30 seconds, which means every 30 seconds you have 10 seconds of this being faster. It usually is every 12 seconds. So even if it brought it down to half, you would only benefit from it once. Still good if this is a very powerful hit, then that makes a difference. But I would expect this to be benefiting from that as well. I'm gonna experiment with this one because it has a 12-second cooldown. That's just gonna be easier to see if it has an effect or not. So, where's the nearest wolf? Not here. Not there. There we go. Alright, come play. Yep, right here. So I'm gonna start with this. And then that. Oh, okay, so it did reduce it a little bit. And then, yeah, that one is just 1 second now. So it is working as intended. Having seen all that, let's just go back home. Oh, okay, so you can't teleport in combat. Alright, the fixed things. The claymore is usable. I'm not sure if this is a good opener, but it feels like it should be. And yeah, not much more. I like the thing, but it's kind of limited in range. And I'm gonna go fish a little bit more. I definitely think the campfire is useful. I don't think it is good enough. I think it's like it'll give you a breather, but I think it's still combat focused. I feel it's something that is still done in a way that players are expected to have to fight the monsters when they go gather resources in the wild. And that's one thing that I am not a fan of. I think we need a tool that allows us to avoid it, and we are not pushed into it in a way that if we don't, we die. We should be, or not we as a collective, everyone, the players that get into combat and into leveling their Slayer level should do so out of motivation for an inherent reward related to that thing, and not just because they're forced into it. And unless there's even more balancing being done to make like resources more valuable with the travelers. One of the things I keep hearing Voxel saying, yeah, just hire guards and go out and they'll fight while you do your thing. Then that is just dumping the responsibility of that reward onto the player instead of the system. And while I am 100% for promoting players to basically like generate quests as players, it should be something that is done because it offers an added benefit, and not something because if you don't do it then you get punished. So yeah, I don't think the campfires are enough. Again, I do 100% expect that at one point the world will have roads that will be safe. So for traveling traders, that might be a solution. There is still a matter of gathering. While gathering, players are still vulnerable. You can, if you could stack those campfires, it would be feasible to post one of those campfires next to each area that you're gathering and then move on to the next one. Although you probably need to make a path again because you're gonna be carting things. So yeah, no, in my head the solution is still something that is basically some sort of ward for a player who is not out in the wilds to go and fight monsters, but to gather things, to be able to do so. It should require some sort of investment in terms of time to craft the things, or the cost of the thing if you buy it because somebody else crafted it. And then you can put that in the balance into, well, if I'm going to spend this amount of hex coins worth of effort, or this amount of hex coins buying the ward that will last me, you know, an hour, I could also offer those hex coins to somebody that wants to go hunt near me, so that they do their thing, which is hunting, and also keep me safe. But that's only if there is something that, if there's an alternative for the gatherer that can be translated to value in a straightforward way. And the campfire is not it. The campfire is definitely not it. should have probably gone for more food. I'll probably run out of stamina and then go and grab food and process this shrimp. I will write down on my notes just campfires, not enough. There we go. Sorry about that, just typing down some of my thoughts, otherwise I forget. Even like that, sometimes it's chaos and I forget. There we go. That's good enough for now. Necronomicon? That's an awesome name. Because it's like the Necronomicon, but it's also Neko and Nom, like eating. I don't know, there's so many letters to that name. I love it. Oh, let's... cycle that. Hey, I found Visker. Out there gathering some leather, it would seem. Let's go process this crawdads. So 100 and what was it now? 107 this time. Let's see what the lottery brings us. I might just make 10 of these and place them on my trading stall. Well, they should actually be 12, so that would be 4 people worth of boxes. Yeah, I'll post those just to see if they sell for higher, a higher price, because that would definitely be good for me. It doesn't sound like much, but it's a 20% increment between 125 and 150, which means every, what was it? Well, every 5 that I sell, it's as if I had made one more, which makes a difference. It definitely makes a difference. I wonder if I should just bite the bullet and play the RNG game and get that last red ring. I'm afraid that there will be an RNG system as well for tier 2 gems, and that I'm wasting time getting the tier 1 amulets when I could just go hang out at someone's claim that's in a higher tier area and just do the tier 2 ones. I mean, it's kind of what I'm doing with the bricks, so there's no real defense for my bad choices already. But yeah, I think I think I probably will do that. We'll just wait. I'm mostly just already committed with this amount of infused bricks because I had a whole bunch of pebbles and mud that I wanted to turn into road, and accidentally turned them into paste, and that's why my stream you know, tells it as it is: suboptimal gameplay. I will often have tips of, you know, if you're doing this, maybe try doing it this way so it's better, more efficient and whatnot. Often that is a result of messing up, making mistakes, and learning from them. Fortunately, hopefully, I would guess. No, someone's got a goat. They're so funny. It's like they don't even move, but the guy on top moves. Almost like those I don't know if they're common in other places in the world. I guess they are. In Mexico, in some malls, you'll sometimes see kids on these like horses that have wheels that move when the kids jump up and down, and they have like this clunky looking movement that reminds me, the goat reminds me of them very much. But yeah, going back to the bricks, I had already decided to not make more bricks, but I accidentally made a whole bunch of paste. And instead of just like making the bricks and selling them, like I had enough to make about 100 bricks. That would have been 2,500 hex coins if I just turned them into rumba, just like that. But it would, like, it turns into so much more if I turn them into refine that I thought, well, let's do that. And now that I got that that trade in the southern ruins for 150, I'm guessing I can probably just post them in my cart on my trading stall for 150 and make it even slightly higher profit. I think it should be viable. Okay, so let's just... Alright, I need to stand next to it. I don't like that it doesn't walk when I click on that. Let me type that in my notes. When you click on your personal storage, it opens it, but you don't walk to it. I think that's a bug, because it doesn't make sense that you wouldn't walk to it. That goes there, that goes there, that goes there. Actually, no, you're gonna come here. Should we do 30? Let's do 30 for now, and then we can just post them while grinding the rest, and maybe while I grind this, they might have sold already. So 30 of these. I had expected to avoid cooking. I always sort of end up falling into cooking involuntarily. But I think because one of the main things that I enjoy doing is gathering. Gypsite is basically like, you don't really gather mod except for making a few bricks. So it's not something that you will find people having tons of. Unlike, for example, shells. It's more common to see there being excess shells because people fish for food, and then the shells are a byproduct of making bait, and food is a consumable, so people will always be fishing. The byproducts of that, which are shells and fish oil, end up being very cheap later on, because there's just so much of it. People are just dumping it in the ground. Not so with gypsite. So as someone that goes the road building way and I forage, I end up with a lot of gypsite just as a matter of course. And then if I'm actively like grinding foraging, if I was to need some foraging levels, unless I had a reason to get fibers or to get flowers, I would probably just go for mud. And while I grind my foraging, I would be grinding gypsite. And since fire sand is made in the cooking station now, I guess it does make sense that cooking and foraging will sort of be mixed in a way. I'm also able to, I guess, get my own food by cooking berries, although it's a very inefficient way to do it. I'd be better off like trading, like selling those berries and buying completed foods. Because I think there's the pie recipe uses the berries, not the berry paste, right? Oh no, it does use the berry paste. So I could make the berry paste for experience and then sell the paste. Or, you know, at that point just buy the ember grain and make the other thing. This is the problem with the way things are. I think sometimes it just feels like the easier thing to do instead of trading is to just take that one extra step and just take that one extra step. And in the end, if you think back, you have taken 20 extra steps from what you originally intended to do and from the way that you had originally intended to play. And to me, that feels like it's because of a failed system. The system is not providing you everything that you need to not feel like those steps are necessary. And right now, everything that we need is trade, so it's a point that I circle back to just because that's still the focus of a lot of the issues that I see. And it is something that they're actively working towards, so I will not repeat myself yet again on the subject, but yeah. I should also remember to take the bait and the bracksite up to the bank, because that's where I store those things. I probably should have grabbed the sword as well. What does it do? A simple swing, another simple swing, another simple swing. I mean, that's more straightforward. Not sure if the damage that shows on the tooltip is representative of the reality or if it's the same as with the damage that is shown here. I could do some experiments, but it's not an element of the game that I'm very interested in right now. The like how combat works. Mostly because I think right now we have a placeholder for what combat will be. But later on, once I have a better armor, I will just go around and play around and see what does what and how it works. Even just having a tier 2 armor would probably be good enough. time is it? Okay, so it's 11:30. I'll probably stick around for another 15 minutes or so. And then find someone to raid. Alright, there's a few people. I'm hoping I'm able to just finish this today, and then tomorrow I can spend the day actually hanging out in another group's claim and trying to interact more with other players and see what kind of a role a nomadic player would have in a set claim. I guess ideally my expectations, and let's see if they meet reality or not. My expectations is I should feel unintrusive, almost like I'm not there, other than if somebody is interested in the things that I'm producing. If I place them on my trading stall, that would be a way for them to benefit from it. And if I am in need of something that is produced in there and I place a listings on my cart, then if it's a fair trade, they should be interested in it and they should interact with it. And then, you know, hang out. If I'm fishing and somebody else is fishing, it's always more fun to fish with someone else, that kind of thing. Okay, so fire sand is cooked. Let's make ourselves some bricks. Is here, right? Yep. 30 of them. Interesting, same effort to make the bricks as it was to make the fire sand. Well, this is basically just waiting on the clock for it to process, so I'll take this time and just end the stream now. And who was it that we were going to raid? Let's raid Panda. They've been on for a while now, so I don't know if they're gonna be on for a lot longer. Oh, they haven't been on for that long. I guess they started around at the same time as I did. Alright, so thank you very much for hanging out today. Looking forward to seeing more people back tomorrow. And yeah, if you see me around the in-game, feel free to say hi. And if you have any questions about the game, or if you have any experiences or thoughts that you want to share, they are always welcome. I know I sometimes rant a little bit too much. I guess it's just the way my brain works. But yeah, any input and any opinions that you guys might have, I'm always really interested in them. So let's take this to, how does it spell? Raid. Wait. Here we go. And we're raiding Popo, right? Yes, there we go. Again, thank you very much. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.